to understand a little bit later this evening. So now one of the questions that often comes up is, when is the right time for you to become an entrepreneur? Timing is a tough thing to try to assess. Is it right out of college? There's plenty of stories of people who just drop out of college. In fact, we're going to hear one tonight. I think Stefan is a self-professed dropout. Am I right? Indeed. So there you go. There's one way to start it. Is it after you've got some real work experience? Is it, for example, after you've gone and worked for a large corporation? Or is it just whenever? Well, it's a tough question. Just using the obvious. It's when you, for your reasons, are ready to tackle the opportunity. And I think John laid out a perfect framework there. In fact, because I knew he was going to talk about this tonight, it's almost like that fear of being too early has now suddenly got to the point where it's greater than or equal to the fear of being too late. And I will say that I think that's a great way to embody this, because there's something that eventually causes you to say, I've got to move house, or I've got to change jobs, or I've got to start a company. And at some point, you know it. It isn't something that you're going to be able to write down probably in absolutely clear logic. It'll probably be at least as emotional and guttural as it is anything else. But I do think that most entrepreneurs reach that point and cannot stop themselves. And there is nothing that will stop them at that point from going on and making a success of whatever it is they're going to do. So, of course, a lot of people say, well, that must mean there's a certain amount of experience or you've reached a certain age. Well, here's the truth. Most people would describe this as a bar chart with a median curve, a bell curve in it. I describe it as a lot of stats. It basically proves, maybe there are more people in their middle age who go out and start, tech companies, but there's nothing stopping you, in your college years doing this. You may have more experience later on, or you may have more fear later on, which is probably why you have people, 55 and above doing less of these. But it doesn't mean to say you can't do it. You're still going to have to establish for yourself what your premise is for it. In fact, I'm going to give you two reasons why both ends of the spectrum are really interesting. First of all, I think one of the greatest things about youth is that ignorance is bliss. You actually are totally unaware and unlimited in terms of what you think is possible. And it's a fantastic time in life because you have nothing to lose. Seriously, I've been there. I started my first company at 18. I had no idea what I was doing when somebody said, would you please program a portfolio analysis system for me? I want to trade bonds. I didn't even know what a bond was. I thought it was something that James in a movie started. So it was literally, to me, like, okay, why not? I'll do it. But the beauty of it was I had no idea what I was going to be challenged to do, and it was fun to go try to break the rules, and sure enough, we figured out how to do bond trading, portfolio analysis, and sell it to the City of London. Great. Of course, then I woke up to the reality that, oh, sheesh, you have to support this stuff, and there's ongoing costs, and oh my God, I still pay my bills at university and do my classes, and all the other things hit. And that's where the other side of this is really useful. Experience is great. It gives you confidence. You have stronger networks, deeper relationships, and obviously, in many instances, some resources to fall back on, and unfortunately, more to lose. So that's why you see that bell curve tail off. So what do I think is the answer? There isn't one. Actually, I think some of the best teams to the exact picture that John put up there for you are combinations of youth and experience. Youth plus experience equals success in my book. The simple, if you've seen it in my hiring class, mnemonic that I use is YES. Youth, Y, plus experience, E, equals success, S. And I really believe some of the best startup teams have exactly that. Now, by the way, it doesn't mean to say your co-founder has to be deeply experienced. It might be a board member you bring on, or it might be just somebody who has as an advisor. But finding that way to bring that together is a really great ingredient of many of the best companies I've seen. Now, if you don't believe me,